Hello again and welcome to the last CHIRP News Bulletin of 2018. Today we are guests of the National Maritime Operations Centre near Fareham in Hampshire. If ever a place could be called a nerve centre, this is it. For over 4 years, staff based here have coordinated Coast Guard operations all around the UK, linking up with 10 other Coast Guard centres nationally. Nearly 100 staff are based here, on standby to help you if you hit 999 for help on shore or at sea, deploying every resource available from land, sea and air. Some of the Coast Guard's most regular customers are in the leisure sector, but whether you're afloat for pleasure or work, you are still at the mercy of the unforgiving sea, and maybe your own mistakes too, as we now report.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. If so, we have 3,000 words worth of value for you this time. Here, our reporter observed and photographed a fisherman leaning over the side of his boat without wearing a flotation device. He's on his own, so if anything goes wrong, he will be in severe danger of drowning. To make matters worse, if he were to go overboard, there seems to be no easy way for him to get back onto his craft, which has a freeboard of at least a metre. Without any means of self-recovery, it is very hard to climb back into such a boat, especially if you're cold, shocked, and in waterlogged clothing. The second picture is even more worrying, with the fisherman leaning over the side of his boat to recover one of his pots, to the extent that the vessel has a marked list to starboard. Here we can also see he's wearing oilskin waterproofs. Hardly ideal gear if you do fall overboard. But our reporter also witnessed this easygoing attitude to safety with some non-professional fishermen. Out for a spot of angling, these two have run out of fuel and are moving around, again without flotation gear, trying to sort things out, while their boat drifts along the coast. Our reporter kindly watched over them until they were out of trouble, noting that one of them was casually standing without protection on the outboard stern platform. Two fishermen who are far from complete anglers.
The Maritime Advisory Board pinpointed the problem in these cases, not the facts of a day's fishing, but the fact of unpreparedness for the unexpected. We urge all who go down to the sea like this to think ahead. What could go wrong? What will you do if it does? How will you get back on board if you fall in the water? Do you have grab lines or a rope ladder? Have you got, and do you wear all the time, a personal flotation device? Are you equipped with a personal locator beacon with your details registered? And does someone on shore know where you are and when you should return? All of that will make all the difference if the worst happens, especially as physical factors like cold shock can impact quite suddenly after immersion, immediately affecting your ability to save yourself. Do not be complacent, always be aware of the risk to yourself.
It's a safe and simple task, isn't it, washing down the deck of your boat, or even as a crew member of a larger boat owned by someone else. A hose, a broom, a calm, sunny day in port. What could possibly go wrong? Take a look at these pictures and you'll see. These crew members are clearly careless of their own safety. They aren't wearing flotation gear, they're in bare feet on the slippery GRP surface of their vessel, and they're using soap to get everything nice and clean, which makes such surfaces even slippier. Leaning forward and over the edge adds extra dangers to the mix. A moment's inattention could mean a fall into the water, or even onto those bollards capped with a sharp conical top to make the falling experience that extra bit lethal. Our reporter reflects that calling out a warning in such circumstances, however justified, might increase the danger. Distracting those at risk could make matters worse by causing them to fall. And in this case, it turned out that one of those at work was the captain of the yacht.
It seemed perfectly clear to our Maritime Advisory Board that this scenario really was an accident waiting to happen. By now, that may have indeed been the case somewhere at sea or in port, though of course we very much hope not. All involved, especially the captain, were neglecting their duty of care for themselves and for their shipmates. Putting that right would simply mean following common sense rules. Don't work barefoot, wear anti-slip shoes. Use a waist belt harness against the risk of falling. Stand behind a rail if you can. Where appropriate, put on a flotation device. Think about the timing and location of your work, and before all that, prepare. Look back at what you've done before, with photos if available, and think how the safety of such tasks could be improved in future. And above all, resist pressure to work in an unsafe way. It's your body that will be broken if anything goes wrong. You have the right to say no to hazard.
You would think, wouldn't you, that if you went into a yacht chandler's, you could depend upon being sold the latest version of a chart. After all, such a store wouldn't sell you a frayed rope or a winch that was prone to jamming. That'd be unsafe, wouldn't it? How much more so, then, an out-of-date chart, which could lead to navigational error, stranding, or worse? Our reporter informs us that he's come across such cancelled charts being sold on a number of occasions, most recently one that was fully 3 years expired, on sale in not one, but 2 chandleries.
Our reporter is diligent. He contacted chart suppliers who confirmed that they report new chart issues to chandleries and take old charts back, so the chandler loses no money. This is a clear case of the legal principle caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. All seafarers must check the charts that they buy. It's as simple as that. And CHIRP warns, watch out for counterfeits, both in traditional charts and computer software. The fakers are active and they could cause you real trouble at sea.
Well, that's it for CHIRP News for 2018. Thank you for all the reports you've sent in. Every time you do, you make seafarers' lives that much safer. More reports from CHIRP Maritime Feedback number 52 can of course be found online. As always, thank you for watching, and we wish you safe sailing and a happy return.
Don't forget to follow us on social media. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. CHIRP Maritime, putting the mariner first.